Hi, besties. Thank you for joining me for another week here at Besties by Bravo. I am going and I'm flying solo this week because I don't know how else to say that I have had the most chaotic week just from like the tiniest little things, just everything's been a little crazy. But some of it's been good crazy. All right. I can't wait to eventually share what some of it was. If it all pans out, is the way I will put it. And it's just been a lot happening. So I'm here, and I'm so glad you are too, because we are going to basically, I'm going to do my one woman show of the Real Housewives of Orange County. And with that, did y'all see the Trace Amigas, of course, did a show at like the Irvine Improv or something like that, and I mean sombreros were involved, white denim or white shorts, I think, and dancing, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. And I think the funniest part is that Vicky didn't want Teddy to go, so Teddy Mellencamp to go, so she told Tamara she wasn't allowed to come. Because I did listen to the Two T's in a podcast. Oh my gosh, sorry, my hair is looking a little crazy. I did listen to the Two T's in a podcast this week, and Tamara did invite Teddy on the podcast to come see the Trace Amigas show. And I just think that's hysterical that Vicky, petty Vicky, man, we love to see it. But yeah, it's been I think an interesting week for everyone because Vanderpump Rules started filming season 11 yesterday on Wednesday. Now, I don't know a whole lot of what's going on. I did make a TikTok about my predictions, and I will give you one of them right now. Uh, and again, go follow my TikTok. The content is always different from my Instagram. I am doing that much content, and it's different from the YouTube. So here I am. I think because we have every cast member confirmed except for who wouldn't you know, Rachel. I'm telling you right now, here's what my belief and my prediction is that Rachel is going to come back for like maybe one or two scenes. I do. And I know all of you are like, Caitlin, who in their right mind is actually going to effing do any scene with Rachel Leviss? And I'm going to tell you who. And I'm not going to say Tom Sandoval. I'm actually going to say I think Sheena would. Hear me out. I think Sheena would because on Sheena's podcast, she did say that if Rachel had not gotten that TRO, she would have filmed a scene with her. But because of the TRO, she couldn't. And so I think Sheena was very hurt by all of that. And I think Sheena deserves, out of anyone that's left, a chance to face Rachel. She never got that opportunity. And I think that she should be able to try and say something to her about how she was so emotionless when Sheena was heartbroken at the reunion and saying things in her trailer like, I think I maybe should have written her a note. Like, hindsight. Bizarre. Okay, we're going to move on from Scandal and come back to Orange County, which, y'all, this week, this is what we tune into Orange County for, okay? This ridiculous, petty, well, I'm an established actress. Type of, I haven't honed in on my Heather here, so bear with me. She's going to be all over the place. Let's just get into it. And, we started out the episode with Emily taking Annabelle to a photo shoot at LA Model Management. And I don't know if y'all noticed, she said that they had been in the car for a while. They drove from like Newport to, I'm pretty sure if it's still in the same place it was when I went to like a casting in the same building quite a few years ago, that it is off of Sunset. And that is like a 2-hour drive. Can you imagine being in the car by yourself with, I don't know how old she is, like 10 or 11, for that long? But that little girl is gorgeous. Okay. Oh my God. Like, she has the prettiest eyes. Good for her. I love that Emily's, get letting her do her thing. That's amazing. A lot of parents don't let their kids do that, and for good reason. Bear with me. But I think, hey, let her give it a shot. It's not like they're that far from there. And it was kind of sad. Like Emily was recounting her childhood and how things like, oh, I didn't get breakfast and it wasn't like a thing to be taken care of in the morning. And I didn't know that was, whatever. And so, like, she's trying to be a cycle breaker, which there are many people my age, and she's not that much older than I am. Okay, let's be real. And that are breaking cycles that their parents had learned, and their parents were trying to break cycles they had been raised with. So that's the way that is sometimes, Oh my God. Okay, so the ladies are shopping for the Dude Ranch. And we get a glimpse of a lot of the boots in this shop because, hey, the very first thing I think of when I hear the words Dude Ranch are, wow, maybe some glitter should be thrown in there because, hey, guys, the glittery cowboy boots were in full swing, okay? So also Tammy Sue, she sure loves camping in the dirt on her Chanel dirt bike, okay? Because Chanel makes dirt bikes, don't they? Uh-huh, sure do. Okay. And when Heather shows up to tell Tamara happy birthday with a bottle of champagne, and she's like, "You're my grande dame." Ma'am, there is only one grande dame, okay? And that is Karen Huger. Heather is in like all white to shop for the Dude Ranch with, Tam. But listen, we all know Heather wasn't going to be buying anything there, honey. No, she's far too rich for that place. God, you know what? I bet Kyle Richards, if she is watching this, she is shitting her pants looking at all those hats. Now, listen. I'm going to be honest. That green hat that Gina tried on was so freaking cute. I want it. Okay. And I have a giant head. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I have a huge head. And so for me, shopping for hats isn't that easy, but like, it would probably make my head look like much bigger, wouldn't it? Yeah, that wouldn't work out so well. Damn it. My dreams of becoming a cowgirl left in the dust. Shannon is trying on Oshkosh Bagosh, which, my goodness, Oshkosh Bagosh overalls. And Gina is most excited about dressing like a cowgirl, but another, ma'am, this confessional look. Now, Gina herself looks wonderful. I think she is glowing. She looks very happy. She looks well, Why are you dressed as though Mr. T merged souls with a white woman in the OC who... Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Now, Emily's dressed far better. Gina, I love those Spanx leggings. Basically, every mom loves those Spanx leggings. I even wore them when I was pregnant and I wore them after. Okay, they are wonderful. They don't need to be worn in your confessional. I don't know. I don't think I need my housewives to be that relatable with her, like, the layering of the necklaces. It's like, I'm just very much convinced that when she takes those necklaces off after she goes back and films confessional scenes, she's green all over her neck, but the spray tan will help with that. And listen, I am a avid spray tanner, okay? Hot girls don't rely solely on the sun for a nice little glow. I said what I said. Now, okay. Then we get to, this was like, oh, Heather, because Jen and Tamara joke with Heather that, like if their husbands were plastic surgeons, they'd be in their office every day. And Heather says, "Oh, he's blind. He thinks I'm perfect." Maybe we shouldn't call a plastic surgeon blind. Because I don't want a blind surgeon doing my neck lift. Just saying. And so Emily and Gina are talking to Shannon about the apology that Tamara gave to her. And Gina, says also that it's hard to be around Jen when she's trying to justify her infidelity. and that it's a trigger for her, and she's she's helping Matt get his felony dropped for what he did to her. So I'm going to backtrack here. Gina has a problem with Jen because Jen had an affair, right? So she is very not okay with Jen, having a hard time imagining being friends with someone like this because she had an affair. And yet she is trying to help Matt get his felony charges dropped for what he did to her. Now, separate things. Both Matt cheated on her. Terrible. Fuck you, Matt. Excuse me. Sorry, YouTube. And sorry, kids that are in the car. That's, Anyway, that being said, the felony for what Matt did to Gina, the domestic violence, and him cheating on her are two separate things. And Gina being triggered by the cheating and not triggered by the fact that she's trying to help. And now I get why I get to a certain extent why she's trying to help Matt with this. Okay? If Matt we can forgive people and let them turn their lives around, especially because she needs that child support. He needs to be able to support his children. But that's the only reason. You don't get to violently terrorize another human being and just, have them help you get out of it. So anyway, they're very unrelated things, okay? Because Matt shouldn't have been sticking his dingling where it didn't belong, and he was married to you. Jen wasn't married to you. Okay. So I guess Jen has been with Ryan for 2 years, and Heather's asking her if she was physical with him while she was still with Will, and she says, was I physical with Ryan while I still lived with Will? No. But was I emotionally 5 miles down the road when I was still living with Will? Yes. So Heather asks her, if she and Will were in an open relationship. And Jen's like, no, wish I could say it. Wish I could say we were. But I guess she didn't sleep in the same room as Will for a very long time. And she would be texting Ryan from the next room, all of that. So I went ahead and watched the never before scene, so you don't have to. Tamara asks Jen Tamara, look, I know you like sex, okay? Just the best of us do. I need you to find a different shtick, okay? Can we work on it? Because it's getting old. All right. So Tamara asked Jen if Ryan sent her dick pics, and she's like, no. And Heather is somehow shocked that men do that. And, she just kind of jokes about imagine Terry sending one to her. She's like, oh, he sends me cat memes. You know what? It all fits. Okay. Cat memes in the, motor, not DMX, BMX bike. Rest in peace. We're going to pause for a second because there is a fire truck. Okay, back, friends. So, the BMX leather jacket sending his wife cat memes. Can't you just see him like, I think she'll like this one. So Terry has such like a nasally voice. You know what I'm talking about? So, Jen says that she and Ryan, they talk 24,000 times a day. And yeah, they talk about marriage. And that Ryan has never been faithful to a single person he has been with in his life. Wow. That is all I have to say to that. Really, Jen? How? You're very naive. That's scary to me that you actually would bet on that horse. Okay. And because also they went on a break. He told her, you know what, you need to figure your stuff out. See where you are spiritually, emotionally. Ugh. And so what did he do while they were on a break? Because Heather's like, look, guys, I'm hip. I'm young. I get it. It was like when Ross and Rachel were on a break, huh? So he banged someone. Cool. So we go to Ryan's house. Wow. That was a flashback. Okay. Wow. Flashback to beige countertops, dark wood sky tops, and, well, family vans. Wow. His house hasn't aged a day, unlike the rest of these housewives. And they thought it was really cute to make it seem like they were having sex because he was using the massager on her back. He just is so skeezy to me. I'm sorry, I think he is. Jen, I am very sorry. You know, I think you are gorgeous and you could most likely get someone better. Maybe not in Newport, because Newport is very small, but I bet you could get someone better. I'm just putting it out there for you. So Jen talks to Ryan about the discussion she had with Tamara and Heather, and she does say in confessional, you know, she's emotionally connected to him. And it was interesting because right as she says that, I immediately said, and because she was going on about like how deep the emotional connection is. Uh-huh. And I was like, no, honey, you love having sex with him is what you love. And immediately the producer's like, so, and the sex with him. And she's, yeah, okay, that's what it is. And we go to Heather packing. Oh, God. She's looking for some shit kickers, you know? How, would these work? Terry, friends, people I pay to be my friends, stylists, would these work? Her Chanel rain boots? Those Chanel rain boots could put someone through community college, okay? A semester or two. Just fly me out the window head first. Heather is so intensely Heather in her confessionals that it's like, I I cannot take it. She said, I haven't worn jeans since the pandemic, you know, free the denim. They're empty nesters. Sad, you know. I have a toddler, so I'm not ready to even imagine that. And she's talking with Terry about how she wants to move to LA and go back into acting. And listen, I get it. I really do. I know what that's like. And, you know, it's sometimes when a dream is a dream, you have to give it up. So then we get to lunch with Taylor and Tamara. Wow. Tamara orders the My Opinion wine, which I loved getting that flashback of that's my opinion. If you didn't already have enough of that in my opening there, but you get another one. And in the never before scene, Taylor and Tamara again are talking about sex because Tamara can't seem to talk about anything else. And really that's all it was, about how often they're having sex and how and Taylor's like having it once a month. And okay, whatever. Oh my God, the drama of Taylor ordering the steak frite, but I don't want fries with it. Veggies. So Taylor brings up Masterpiece and how she offered Heather the role. And she said that Heather came for the acting class and, you know, told her that she was so cute. And we get that flashback of Heather being like, oh, you're so cute, which... Guys, let's stop. I hate it when people say that to me too. Like, really. It's like, oh, pat on the head. You fuck off. And Tamara says in confessional that, well, Heather has a way of talking that makes you feel belittled. You don't say. And, you know, Taylor's saying that she's upset that Heather left the script. And we do see the flashback again of Taylor saying, oh, Heather, you should take the script with you. And Heather's like, I am going to leave this here in case you need to do scene work with someone else. And Taylor says to Tamara, well, take the script and read it. Isn't that what actresses do? Now, something about Taylor saying this next thing in confessional absolutely sent me into another stratosphere. Do you understand me? I was in hysterics. I thought it was so, please. It was just so, oh my God, it was almost poetic. Taylor says in confessional, I'm not angry with Heather. I'm not pissed off. My feelings are hurt. It's my first movie role, and now she's acting like, poo-poo. With like the big pony and that's curled everywhere. And it's like, Taylor, come on, baby doll. So Taylor had told the director to look up Heather's IMDb, and production wanted her to send a tape. Okay. So they start looking up Heather's IMDb, and we get that wonderful flashback of Malibu Country. I got a job on Malibu Country. And then Tamara in the van saying, oh my God, like they called Gretchen too. And then Alexis Bellino chiming in, oh yes, they called my publicist. And Tamara says in confessional, I was offered a part two. Okay, wow. So here's the thing. This is what's going to crack. This is what I shouldn't say going to. It cracks me up. Because them bringing up Heather's IMDb so many times, I can tell you, without a doubt, multiple people, including me, were looking up Heather's IMDb. And what's funny about IMDb is they have a star meter on there. It's dumb as shit. Okay, I'm not going to lie. And so when you look up someone on, the more people look you up on IMDb, the more your star meter rises. So I should have looked. Should I look right now? Why don't I go look right now? Let me take a look. I'm going to look up Heather Dubrow on IMDb, and I'm going to see if her star meter has risen at all, because I'm telling you, it makes it does make a difference. Let's see, Heather Dubrow. Let's just look it up. Okay. She's not the first. Oh, gosh. Okay, keep going. Heather Dubrow. I wonder what her star meter's at. Do we have... Okay, yeah. Her star meter has gone up to the top 5,000. I have to log into my stupid pro account, but I can tell you that she has absolutely gone up. Her meter has. For her to go up into the top 5,000, that's pretty intense because there are millions. Okay. So I mean, IMDb. It's like the new ride or die. And so Tamara says to talk to Heather. She's telling Taylor, listing the reasons, or I'm sorry, Taylor is listing the reasons that she wonders if it's that Heather thinks that I was cast, and because I was cast, it's not good enough. If it's a honky-tonk movie shooting in Oklahoma, or if, she just doesn't have the time. And Tamara says, it's all of those, bitch. Okay. The ladies are packing. All right. And of course, Shannon is packing insane-ass condoms. Whoop! Nope. Costumes. Meant costumes. But I did have questions about why she had a Zorro mask. Okay. I'm very concerned. I know a lot of us joke about Gina's home being tiny, or the casita. Her closet, what was that? That was a wardrobe, and she had like this huge... listen, I would love to have a vanity like that. But maybe take the vanity. How do you not have that many? She's using Rent the Runway. That's it. It's Rent the Runway. She doesn't have to keep clothes on hands like that. It's Rent the Runway. Duh. Oh my God. It makes so much more sense. And Eddie got Tamara some... I'm not going to lie. Those Louis Vuitton boots were really effing cool. Okay. God damn it. The airport. Heather is in a bedazzled jacket. It is from top to bottom. Like, she's doing Cowgirl Las Vegas, a little bit of Elvis. Yeah. So Emily can't go because they all were having to take the mandatory COVID tests, right? And she tested positive, and she was like, I'm not feeling sick. It is what it is. Sucks, right? So, then on the plane, when Jen's like, I haven't ridden a horse, and then Tamara says, but you're from Oklahoma. Okay. I am from Oklahoma. I have ridden a horse one time in my life, and it was terrifying. I would like to try again. But what that Oklahoma's not about. We didn't ride horses to school in the morning, like to public school. Did I drive past cows every day? Yes. I didn't realize that that maybe wasn't normal. Yeah, you always drove past cows. Didn't everyone? No? Okay, maybe not. Um, and then when they get to Montana, I'm sorry, is Jason the ranch manager, Tamara's son Ryan in disguise? I'm not kidding, y'all. Go back and look. He looks like Ryan, put on a beard and a hat and a wig. It's Ryan. Seriously, it looks like him. Wow, the bunkhouse versus the villa. It's very different. Very different. Yeah, so guns in the chandelier and they come out. Wow. Okay. All right. I would prefer my call me crazy. I like my guns to stay in the chandelier. And then Taylor's like saying, the last thing we need is a New Yorker with a gun. Gina is from Staten Island, I thought, but all right. So Gina thinks that bunking with Jen will make her feel better that she had an affair. Okay. Because why not sleep with the same person that you're mad at for sleeping with other people other than their significant other? So then Shannon comes out of the bunkhouse. She's like, no, the kitchen's too small. And Tamara's yelling for the driver to hurry up and drive to the villa. And she's like, hurry, driver, go, go. And Shannon's like, that's mean. All right. So then we get to the villa. Astronomically different from the bunkhouse. Okay. Just gonna let you know that. Astronomically different. And Shannon didn't want to sleep in the outdoor bedroom. So they're going, it wasn't a room with a gorgeous view. I mean, also, I need it like pitch black when I'm sleeping. So fine, I'm like an infant. But all right. So they're going through the rooms and Shannon literally vetoes all of them. And Tamara says in confessional that there's sad Shannon, there's fun Shannon, and then there's vacation Shannon. And I'm just trying to make her happy because I feel like our friendship just needs to be like, we just need to be reminded of like what great friends we are. And then they are expecting Shannon to be ready in 35 minutes to go ride this mechanical bull. And I have never related to Shannon Storms more in my entire life. The way she was stressing, saying, I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to get my lipstick on and I'm doing the best. I'm not ready. I needed to touch on my makeup. I just, So she's not ready, basically. Okay. And Tamara, they are allowing to drive that off-road vehicle. Excuse me. No, thank you. She picks up the other girls and, of course, is making fun of Shannon being dramatic, trying to get herself ready. Now, at the mechanical bull, someone tell me, why in the effing hell did Tam, Jen, and Gina all wear effing dresses and skirts to get on a mechanical bull? Okay, so then we get a flashback of Heather telling the operator to turn it up back in 2014. Remember when Heather had that groundbreaking like hoedown party or whatever, and they had the mechanical bull and Heather's like, turn it up. Yeah, when Tamara got on. And so Tamara's like, I don't want Heather anywhere near the mechanical bull operator. She's getting more and more belligerent the more I keep doing this voice. What do you expect? Lots and lots and lots of sexual innuendos. Like, can y'all stop going for the lowest hanging fruit? I mean, do something more, okay? Tamara says she thinks she tore her vagina when she gets off, and I'd press to say it might be the 4 children you birthed, but just a thought. And they all think, oh, Jen will do better because she's a yoga instructor, but she basically just fell more athletically. Gina stayed on for a while. And now we get, for the second time, to hear about Shannon's bony vagina. When Tamara asks Shannon if she's getting on the bull, Shannon just says, no, to vagina. To what? And like Tamara takes that to mean too meaty, but apparently we find out it's too bony. Okay. Shannon says, bony vagina. It's not a lot of skin. It's like, I'm feeling it on the bone. And thank you for immediately cutting to cows and giant steaks that are cooked. So glad I got to see a little moo-moo. Oh, there's the toddler wrong coming out in me. And immediately in the meat and the meaty vagina. Okay, you get it. So Tamara brings up to the girls that they don't know Taylor very well. And she asks Taylor to tell them something they wouldn't know about her. And Taylor says she's bisexual, which I thought I had heard this before. I wasn't shocked by it, to be honest, because I genuinely feel like I've heard this before. The part that I did not recall ever hearing was that, well, Taylor was with a woman for 5 years before she was with Russell. And I mean, as this conversation is going, I don't know what it is, but Shannon looks like she's slightly shitting her pants. But you know what? Taylor's right that maybe, I don't know, it doesn't seem to quote unquote fit, quote unquote, the stereotypes of what we would assume someone who would be with a woman would be, a female who would be with a woman. But hey, good for her. That's being from Oklahoma. It's going to make him slightly more progressive. We'll say that. So then we get to Jen, and apparently she was a flight attendant, and so was Gina. But Jen met Will while he was flying in economy, and she was his flight attendant, and they dated long distance while he was in law school. And Gina says in confessional, I want more of this, Jen, and, I wish we got off on this foot. I'm sorry, what even happened between you two? Nothing. You and your judginess, okay? It's not like Jen cheated on her husband with her husband's best friend. That wasn't pointed at Gina. That was pointed at Sandoval and, Scandal, whatever. So, never before seen. Tamara says that when she was 17 and in high school, her fact about herself that she doesn't think anyone else knows is that she did a Ouija board with Ryan's dad, her son Ryan's dad, and her mom, and it kept spelling out baby a bunch. And when her mom was like, who? It pointed to her, and I guess Tamara didn't know she was pregnant. That is freaky as... Yeah, listen, I will not be messing with a Ouija board. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And then when Tamara asks Shannon if there's anything they don't know about her, Shannon's like, well, I had a UTI from hell last week. Shannon. And Tamara says in confessional about that, like, oh yeah, Shannon, I was like thinking about going like deep, not like that type of deep. Again, Tamara, low-hanging fruit. But what do we expect? It's Tamara. So then Shannon says, the sitter for the kids didn't show up, but they're like 18. And so I'm sitting there going, dude, this isn't like it was when I was in high school. Set up 4 Ring cameras and have your neighbors check on them. Have the location on their phones. It is so easy to track your kids. Y'all, remind me to tell you sometime about how there was a GPS tracking system on my car in high school and how I found out the hard way. The tracking system was set up by my parents. Yeah. The story, I still remember the story I told about that, saying where I was when I wasn't there. So apparently Shannon was actually just trying to come up with an excuse to get up from the table because she had to go change into her saloon girl outfit. Amp up the fun. And Jen looks at Tamara and says that she is shocked as shit that she's rooming with Shannon. And Taylor says probably the accuracy. Well, maybe it's like their friendship is that it's either fucking or fighting. I mean, right? Wrong? Saloon night. Oh, wow. We go into the saloon. Shannon, what the actual fuck are you wearing? Ma'am. It is so Shannon, it hurts. The hot pink feather in the hair. She's got the choker. She's got on a corset. And I don't know how else to explain this, but I feel like you have to be kind of coordinated as a person to wear a corset because it affects your core. Oh, look at that. Caitlin putting 2 and 2 together. Oh, it means oh. Thank you for listening to Besties by Bravo. I hope you have not turned off the podcast yet. But it throws off your equilibrium. And Shannon is one of the most uncoordinated people I've ever seen. And as I'm about to continue explaining that, though, we do get a lovely flashback of Shannon trying to pour tequila into those little cowboy boot shot glasses. We've all seen those before. They're real cute. And Shannon's getting it everywhere. God bless. The taxidermy in this place? I am not a vegetarian, but I am one bad PETA video away from being a vegetarian. Okay? I'm bad. Shannon and Tamara cheers to a new beginning, and they say I love you. There's something about them like taking these shots. I have some sort of like weird visceral reaction that it hits me in the throat and makes me feel like I could. So Heather goes up to Taylor and asks about the movie. Oh God, here we go. Taylor tells Heather that she really wanted her to do the movie. And Heather says, we talked about it, but I didn't know if you were serious. And Taylor says, I didn't know if you were like, I don't want to be in this because you're a rookie actress and don't know what the hell you're doing. So I'm not going to attach my name to something you're attached to. This sounds like a you issue and not a me issue because I don't feel that way. And Heather explains the protocol to being offered a job as an actor. She's not wrong. Is she being obnoxious? Yep. And then she says, without a call from production, it's not a thing. Okay, well, you have a lot more experience than I do, so you would know. Okay. You know what, Taylor? I can't think of a better response in that moment. I can't. You were staying polite and sweet. And friends, there's nothing I can do about this. It is about to start dumping cats, dogs, shit rain right now. So if you hear stuff in the background, hey, that's what it is. And so Taylor tries to explain. They lost an actress like a split second, but they didn't hire an actress. There's no contract. There's no deal. There's no, what is this role? When is it? Am I available? Do you know what I mean? It's not your movie. You're not the director. You're not the producer. This is something that you've cooked up in your mind that has nothing to do with me. Jesus. And Taylor's just kind of like, that's why I wanted to talk to you. All right. And so we get in the never before scene because I'm just covering that in case y'all don't feel like rewatching this episode. Shannon, Gina, and Jen are talking about Heather and Taylor talking and how they are surrounded by taxidermy and guns. And, Gina apparently thinks that she could be a hunter because she's been watching Maneater at home. And, it's like you have a different appreciation when it's for your own food. You know what I mean? No, I don't. But maybe. If it's the zombie apocalypse, sure. And she was watching Maneater at home? What the fuck is that? Is that what happens when you are California sober? Because I had been considering California sobriety. That made me nervous. So back to the conversation at hand. If they reached out to you and shared the script, would you do it? I would say 100% I'd read it and consider it seriously. Of course I would. I'd say let's go on from there if you're open to it. So we go to Heather's confessional. It's a little weird to me. If you're so hurt, Taylor, why do you still want me to be in the movie? So, sorry, skipped ahead. So Heather says to Taylor, so we're good now. We're good. And they do that bullshit mwah, mwah, kissing on the cheeks, like in the air. Oh my God. So Tamara comes up to Taylor and asks, what happened, and asks her about how production wanted Heather to, didn't they want her to like try out for the role? And Taylor's like, yeah, they wanted Heather to do a casting tape. And so Tamara says, did you tell Heather that? And she says no. And Heather hears this. Oh my God. And this is where Heather was already losing me, but she really lost me here. Are you serious? Your director wasn't impressed with my IMDb? Well, he said, can she send a casting tape? You know, it's like, the thing is, Heather, why are you so insulted by this? You were just saying you wanted to get back into acting. And as someone who has been in that struggle, a friend who said, come be in a movie, ma'am, you not only can afford to go ahead and pay your way there, you don't have to worry about a per diem. Go do it for fun. If you want to be an actor that badly and it is a union project, go do the mother effing movie in Oklahoma and do it. How unreal. Get your head out of your own asshole. So, excuse me, I ranted. I always have to at some point, friends. In confessional, Heather says, so just for clarity, I was offered a role. I turned down a role. I'm too good for a role. And now I'm not good enough for the role, and still no one has reached out to me. And then she says this to Taylor. How effing rude. She goes, so your IMDb was good enough, but I need a casting tape. You've never worked before, but I have. And Shannon says in confessional, how is Shannon Storms Bedore the voice of reason? Look at her. I see both sides. Taylor doesn't know how hiring someone for a film works. That being said, I still don't think that Heather's reaction should have been in that condescending tone, but we're familiar with that tone. Okay, so we cut back, and Heather is telling Tamara she got the offer, but I still have to audition. But my resume isn't good enough. And Taylor is saying, because my role is small. So, again, Heather is so fully triggered by this in a way that my little tiny feeble brain cannot grasp. You are being an absolute feckless. It is so rude. It is so hateful. And you are not, like, you are genuinely acting as though someone waltzed into Terry Dubrow's office and said, hey, you're good enough of a surgeon. Will you do a boob job for me this afternoon? No. You have a history, you have a resume, but Jesus H. Mary and Joseph, ma'am, Taylor was literally doing something that you do in this business. I do it in podcasting. I make friends, I make connections, and the people who I end up I'm friends with, that I hold close to my heart, that I believe in, that I think are wonderful, that I think are talented, I'm going to connect with them in every way possible, and they do that for me. That is how this business works, okay? Listen, what is Quentin Tarantino without Christoph Waltz? Or without Bruce Willis? Oh, Bruce. What is Martin Scorsese without Leo DiCaprio? We saw what happened when he did the movie without Leo DiCaprio, and he instead, had Randall Emmett, that man, producing it with him. We saw what happened. That movie was the best movie Randall Emmett was ever a part of. But that being said, come on. Okay. So, back to it. I'm just going to take a breath here. My God. Because again, I'm sorry. No, I can't. Because Taylor was trying to do something nice. It is pouring rain. I'm sorry, friends, if you can hear it. It is what it is. Can't do it. But I guess Heather is so incredibly insulted there was not a formal offer. And so Tamara tells Heather that Taylor pulled up her IMDb and they looked at it over lunch. And Heather says, okay, Taylor. Okay. And Taylor says, you've done a lot of stuff. Yeah, I have done a lot of stuff. What's funny is we were just at the airport and we ran into Diane Ruggiero, who created That's Life on CBS that I starred in with Ellen Burstyn and Paul Sorvino. Yeah, 22 episodes. Yeah, why are you saying it like that? No, because that's a long run. 22 episodes is a lot. So it was actually 36, which was 2 seasons for a 30-minute sitcom. Whatever. Gina is enjoying the ever-loving F out of this, which, listen, girl, you got to work for that orange. You're just going to sit there and have someone write your one-liners for you in confessional and expect us to forget that you were supposed to be a friend of this season? Hey, whoever wrote that for you, congrats. You did a great job. I don't know how many times she had to deliver that line, but here it is. She says in confessional, Taylor acts so offended, but she's never been in a movie yet. And Heather acts like Taylor just came in and took her Oscars from her like she's Judy fucking Dench. I don't know what accent that was. I apologize. It is really hard. Back and forth. Back to Taylor. I was just very confused why they would even ask you for a casting tape when you've done so much. That sounds very punitive to look me up like that. Excuse me? They weren't trying to punish you, Heather. Good try. I just thought with your pedigree and everything that you've done, they would be super excited to have you on. And Heather flicks her nails at Taylor and says, that's very rude, the way you're saying that. What is that supposed to mean? With your pedigree? Like, that's so weird. And then in confessional, do I have a pedigree? Am I a dog? Okay. And Shannon tries to tell Heather that Taylor meant it in a positive way. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know many people that I could actually use the word pedigree with other than Heather. And it's not meant in a canine way? What the Okay. So then Taylor says, with all the acting history that you have, I thought that they would be like, we're super excited to have you on board. And then Tammy Sue chimes in. I do have to call you out on one thing that you talked about when we looked at her IMDb. You didn't think it was that impressive. And Heather looks like that vein. That is, like the vein she has like right here in her forehead. It is going to explode. Okay? It is going to explode. And then her eyeballs are going to right onto the table. They're gone. And you said that? When they came back to me and asked for a casting tape, I said, let me see what she's done because now I look fucking stupid. Oh my God. We get a one finger from Heather. One finger. That is so incredibly rude. I'm someone who has put my entire life on hold, as many women do. So for you to see, I can't even say this word. So for you to denigrate my career is not only anti-female, but just not nice. And I'm in a crossroads in my life, figuring out who I am. And I just find this to be so incredibly rude for you to sit with Tamara and talk about my IMDb. And Tamara's just sitting there like, oh my God, batch. Oh my God, back and forth. And that cowboy hat, the rim was driving me nuts. When you were offered a part and you've never been in anything ever. And I was excited for you. That's the type of person I am. And the type of person you are is the type to make a mountain out of a molehill when you offered me something that was not yours to offer me in the first place. And then to go to my friends and shit talk my career? Fuck you. Now, Heather, if you had just recorded that in front of cameras, you could have submitted that as your casting tape. Oh my God. Great monologue. Maybe I'll use that for my next audition for an agency or something. Listen, y'all, this was out of control. I cannot, She did not offer Heather a Craigslist modeling job that was for free. Trade for print. I just, no, it wasn't hers to offer, but she got excited. And see, even though now I have Taylor behind me on my wall, I have the I'm about to take you out back and go Oklahoma on your ass because I'm from Oklahoma. So obviously I had to have that up. But I'm not normally like a Taylor empathizer, if that makes sense. But I normally find Taylor a little, her screws looser than most housewives. But my God, this was like unnecessarily cruel. She doesn't know. It's so rude. You want to talk about rude? You are rude, Heather. I'm sorry. Something about you, I always want to like you. I don't know how to explain it. There is something about your big smile that is very likable to me, but it doesn't quite reach your eyes the way it should. And it just, I don't know. Who knows? I have been wrong about people before. Listen, Heather, I'll be your friend. I'm scared of private jets, so don't worry. I wouldn't be using you for your private jet. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Yeah. And it's interesting because on the Watch What Happens Live afterward, Taylor said she found Tamara to be like the most loyal friend. There was a great game Andy played with her, and it was a huge list of like all the girls that she was on Beverly Hills with and all the girls that she's currently on Orange County with. And he asked several questions, and one of them was, who is rude to fans? She said no one. She was asked who is the most different on camera versus being in real life, and she said Brandi Glanville was. And she was asked who does the most shit talking on other housewives in confessional, and she said Brandi. And then she said that who has the best style? Oh, who was it? I can't remember now who she said. And then who is the best business person? She said Lisa Vanderpump. So, hey, it was an interesting. Oh, and who has the most money? Adrienne Maloof, she believed. Her child's godmother. Remember y'all how weird that whole thing was? Next week looks fun. We're getting very close to the new Roni. Very close. I'm anxious. I really hope it's good. Atlanta, girls, you are actually breaking my heart. I'm going to be on Emily Hanks's podcast, She Speaks Bravo, here on Saturday. We're going to talk about Project Runway because obviously y'all know I have a very close connection to it. And so I'm forewarning you. Yes, I'm going to be biased to Kane, or Jonathan Kane, excuse me. Because he is just so genuinely himself. I'm just going to tell you that from full on. He is nobody but him, and I very much appreciate that. And it's fun because I consider Project Runway to be like the Great British Baking Show for Bravo. Do you know what I mean? If y'all haven't gone in on Netflix and watched the Great British Baking Show, who hasn't? But in case you haven't, that is a wonderful comfort watch. I'm just telling you, now I miss it. Damn, I'm going to have to go back and watch some. It's like, it is just, you know how a lot of people like to do their comfort watches, like rewatch an old show, like most people do that with like The Office and shit. No, Great British. It is so, like, they're so nice to each other, and the drama is in the talent and the challenges. And so it's really wonderful. So please go listen. I think the podcast with her will come out next week. It will be on Emily's podcast, She Speaks Bravo. If y'all like to listen to me, I know you will love listening to Emily. She is awesome. I really, really like her. And she's been on here before. Y'all know who she is. I'm talking like you aren't my besties. Oh my God. Okay. Leave a nice review. Because I feel like I'm doing a shitty job according to my Apple reviews. And check out the Etsy shop before I start shutting that down, because my God, is it even worth designing shit anymore? Because it is crazy. Etsy is being weird. So if you want to check out Etsy or bestiesbybravo.com, I will add stuff there. And if you go to bestiesbybravo.com, I will add to the show notes a special discount just for my bestie listeners, because Etsy's been just dicking around. It's really frustrating me. Sorry. Clearly, I'm paid by no one. Anywho, okay, friends, I will see you next week. I will probably have a friend back on here so that you don't have to listen to me just drone on by myself. And I'm just so glad you joined me. Okay, subscribe, follow. I love you. Love you, besties. Bye.